Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the UHW recap. We're down in the basement once again, and this time I am joined by Izzy Kessel. Izzy, great to see you here. How you doing?
Great to see you also, Nick. I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing alright, beside the fact that they stick us down here in the basement for some reason, but don't know why that is. We'll have to talk to Elias on that. But
It feels nice down here to me. I don't know.
yeah, they usually leave the AC on, like, Arctic Discovery setting, but anyway. Last week, there was a pretty good DNA, as it always is, at the United Sportatorium, so I think it's time we get into it. What do you say?
Why don't you go ahead and take us off?
Alright, well, at the start of the show, Elias Swiftwind, representative of the corporation, one wonders who in the hell the corporation is, but anyway, she came out with all the current UHW champions and said the new wrestler named Timothy Knight will be making his debut tonight, and she and the other champions will be watching and evaluating him on his performance to see if he's got what it takes to officially be in the UHW roster. His opponent was the party boy from Tokyo, Ryotaro Yoshida, and it would be a 10-minute time limit match. They shook hands, and Timothy busted out some great moves. He impressed me, actually. And Ryo was able to put him to the test, but they ended up going 10 minutes, the time limit draw. And Timothy got on the mic and said for all his life he had been surviving and thanked the fans and management for giving him the opportunity. Elias was so impressed that she put him on the announce table on the next DNA.
Yeah, I heard that was going to be his next test to see if, just how versatile he is for UHW.
Yeah, I actually like that. I like that initiative by Elias here. Let's test the new guys on, during DNA and Havoc. Why not?
It's, I tend to agree. It is a great idea. Anyway, so after that was all said and done, we saw Intervention come out to the ring. Now, keep in mind, Intervention consists of Wolfie, Vince, and right now Trish. I believe, is he supposed to be part of that? But we'll see.
Yeah.
Wolfie explained to the crowd that as much as they didn't want to have to, they had no choice but to have Izzy committed to the hospital. Right after he finished saying that, Izzy's music hit, much to the shock of Intervention. And Izzy came out with both Toxic and Anarchy and confronted the three and stated that although she was married to Wolfie, the Fangs, being blood family, had more of a right to release her from the hospital. She also stated that she is no longer going to be who Wolfie wanted to be. I also believe she told Wolfie she wasn't going to let him hold her back anymore.
Yeah, I recall hearing that.
Things. She is a Fang, and that is who she is, and she will embrace it. Trisha retaliated with words of her own, even mentioning the words, I'm probably going to butcher this,
I would too, don't
Vincent Amor. Tox and Anarchy had a few words of their own and stated they are behind their sister Izzy. It was basically back and forth until finally Izzy rushed into the ring and attacked Trisha while Toxic and Anarchy held off Vince and Wolfie. Izzy went to the back with her sisters as Wolfie and Vince tended to Trisha and helped her backstage.
Yes, that was definitely an interesting situation there. I'm looking forward to seeing how that one plays out. But our next match was a submissions match for the International Honored Crown Championship. Karen Darkwatch set to defend against Yancey, though, whose music played first, but he wasn't anywhere around. I didn't see him backstage. Nobody knew where he was. Kieran's music hits, and he calls out Yancey. Then, out of nowhere, Yancey came from the arena entrance and clipped Kieran from behind. Maxine trying to pull Yancey off Kieran, only to have Asselin, and then I probably butchered that name, didn't I, Izzy?
I believe it's pronounced as a line.
Yeah, they don't give us pronunciation on this, so we have to wing it. Sorry. Yancey's manager to attack Maxine. Two ladies brawled outside of the ring while the men got separated by the referee and begun the match. They were trying to make each other submit, obviously, because that's the way you win the match on this one. And hit as many submission moves as they had in their arsenal. Towards the end, after a successful inverted atomic backbreaker, Yancey would slap on the camel clutch, working on Kieran's back, which Kieran was able to escape, and turned into the sharpshooter, and Yancey was screaming in pain to get out. As Yancey tried to reach for Aislin's hand, Maxine knocked her down, and Kieran dragged him back to the middle of the ring, and then Yancey had to tap out, and Kieran retained the title.
Now, before the main event would begin, there was a video that played from the contract signing from, I believe it was on Havoc. It showed that Anarchy was tricking everyone all along and that nothing was wrong with her. The match was on as Honey Blunts would defend the UHW Women's Championship against Anarchy Fang in an I Quit match. Now, let me explain real quick. This wasn't an I Quit for the company. It's basically the only way you could win was for the opponent to say the words I quit, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct, Nick?
That is entirely 100% correct.
All right. Now, Anarchy came down with her wife Crimson by her side, while the champion came down with the rest of BBB, which included the newest member, Sierra Sin. Honey and Anarchy had a stare down, which then turned into a huge fist fight, and Honey going for a small package pin. But the referee reminded her that there are no pins. Anarchy and Honey were pulling out all the stops to get the other to say I quit. Now, towards the end of the match, Nick hit Alfie from behind with his clipboard. He got off the apron only to be met by a big boot from Crimson. Jasper, while that was happening, tried to get a weapon and climbed up on the apron. Crim, being smart, saw, quickly followed him up and got him off of the apron with a Russian leg sweep. Honey slid out of the ring to check on Jasper, only to be slapped by Sierra, who yelled at Honey to focus on her match. Anarchy then came out with an impressive vaulting suplex, picked Honey up, and tossed her back into the ring. Anarchy then picked Honey up again and delivered the Warp Vortex. Alfie then made his way to his feet, and Anarchy put Honey in the last breath, making Honey watch as the rest of BBB walked backstage. Shortly after that, Honey said I quit, and Anarchy Fang was crowned the new UHW Women's Champion.
Well, questions coming into this week. Will Timothy be able to prove himself? How are Tricia and Intervention going to retaliate and react to what happened with Izzy? And how's Honey going to react to Triple B leaving her behind and losing that women's title to Anarchy? Find out along with us as UHW presents Havoc. I think that's going to do it for this week on the Recap Center. So for Izzy Kessel, I am Nick Patrick Halderman. Good night, everybody.
Goodbye.